This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
So first and foremost, thank you all for coming. All right, we're just starting now. Right, this has not been a class going on before this. So a few things we have to announce before we begin. So I get a phone call from. He's not here right now. I don't know where he is because I wish he would be here. He's probably right outside. By a person by the name of Rabbi Shimon Kol Yaakov. And Rabbi Shimon Kol Yaakov is just entered. And as we practice, very good. The reason why most of you are religious, I don't know. So happens to be, so what happens is I get a phone call from Rabbi Shimon Kol Yaakov, who is one of the founders of Torah Anytime. So if you want his autograph, afterwards you could see him, and I take a 10% thing. Okay, so spiritual, not dollars. So anyway, so he calls me up and he says there is an amazing speaker that's in here, and we want to arrange, we want to arrange like classes. He's unbelievable. He said to me a few things which I'm not going to say about Rabbi Mizrahi, which is here somewhere, is in the back. Why? Because there are two times when you have to give praises to somebody. Number one is by Sheva Brachot, and number two, it's by the eulogy. So Baruch Hashem, he's not by both. So I'm not going to say what Rabbi Shimon Kol Yaakov told me about this tzaddik who's going to be speaking after me. But he said, he's like, this is going to be, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be huge. He's going to be the next, and he threw some big names. This is who this Rabbi Mizrahi is going to be next. So trust me, because I trust Rabbi Shimon Kol Yaakov when he says there's a good speaker. When you're dealing with somebody that knows speakers, because that's what he breathes. It's like everything that happens is like Torah Anytime has how many speakers? 5, 6, 7, over 1,000 speakers, and they vet each and every single one. I don't know how I got on, but they vet every single one, and for only the best are able to go on there. And when you have somebody that vets every single one and says this one is going to be huge, this one is going to be great, say no more. I'm sold. Right? This is it's unbelievable what's going to happen. So when Rabbi Shimon tells you that somebody's going to be good, somebody's going to be big, that somebody's going to be speaking after me as soon as whenever I decide to finish. So, you think I forgot? I didn't forget. This was on my mind since the beginning, but thank you. So, there's another introduction that I didn't make, and that is, anybody here familiar with something known as blue chip stocks? Nobody? Does anybody know what stocks are? Okay. Blue chip stocks are known as the high elite. Come on, I don't believe that. Nobody here knows what blue chip stocks are? Okay, there's a little bit, sometimes on Wednesdays. So there's something unbelievable when you look at stocks. There's some stocks that are sort of like the Shvachamaisas, like they're the ones that are like, okay, fine, you have nothing else to buy, you buy that, and then you have one of the blue chip stocks are like the high elite of the stocks. You're talking about the high that if you know that somebody has like stock in Google and Apple, in Intel, in Disney. There's certain stocks that are General Electric. There's certain stocks that are known as blue chip stocks. So now, in the way that it works is those stocks are always doing generally well. I'm not talking about when the stock market crashes, but generally they're doing well. When you're dealing with spiritual stock, there's something very interesting. When you deal with physical stocks versus spiritual stocks, so when you deal with physical stocks, so the more that you invest earlier on, the greater your dividends are. The more that the stock is, the more that you make a return on your investment, the more the money that you make. Now, when Torah Anytime, I remember even when the first time, I heard of Torah Anytime years ago. How long has it been going on for? 13 years? Unbelievable. It must have been like 8 or 9 years, like in the old website where there was still like a little bit of views. Sometimes they put it on there. You still I'm talking about in the olden day website when I found Torah Anytime, and I was like, this is crazy. You know what this is? This is going to be the next Google, spiritually speaking. Hopefully also in the monetary world, but in the spiritual world, it's going to be like a Google style, type of stock. Now, what happened was then I was like, okay, you hear about this, and you started sending it out to people and be like, hey, by the way, check this out. This is an amazing website. Now, why is that so imperative to do that right when something begins? Because when you know something or something is going to be big, something is going to be great, you want to capitalize on it right then and there. So if you're able to go and capitalize on Torah Anytime, let's say right when it started, when nobody else knew it, and you send it to like 15 friends or 50 friends, depending how popular you are, I don't know, right? For your own imagination, right? You send it to everybody you know, and like 20 of them signed on. And from, like, what I mean signed on is they started listening. And from them, more, and obviously they get more people and they get more people. I'm not talking about a pyramid scheme. I'm just talking about in the spiritual world what's going on. Now, because of you introduced them to something, so you have a part of that zchut. A part of that zchut belongs to you. You're the one who introduced them. So when you get into an organization that is right in the beginning and they're going to be huge, you could capitalize. If you're a smart businessman, spiritually or physically, you could capitalize it right then and there. So, unfortunately, fortunately, Torah Anytime is no longer little business. It's the biggest of the big in the Torah world. Right? This is the biggest website that you could have when it deals to listening to online Torah classes. Biggest. There's nothing else, to my knowledge. And so you think about, okay, what's going on? But there's something else that happened. Is that very, very recently, Torah Anytime opened up a new division, let's call it. And that division is known as the Daily Dose. Now, what's so important about this Daily Dose? This Daily Dose, in our AD&D, or AD, DH, DA, BC, D, all the other letters of all, age, it's very difficult for people to go and sit and listen to a whole class, or to sit and listen to an hour or two, or depending on the speaker that you're listening to. So what Torah Anytime did is something fascinating. So listen, you're driving, you're running, you're busy, 1 minute, 2 minutes. You can listen to 2 minutes. I'm like, come on, everybody can listen to like 2. You don't have 2 minutes in your day. Who are you that you don't have 2 minutes in the day? You got to have 2 minutes. So every single day, they clip out like the most amazing, and there's like a lot of work goes into it. There's like music in the right places if you really notice it, right? And then there's like letters and there's words and there's like stuff going around about it. There's a lot of work that was placed into it for like the 1 or 2 minutes. But you're able to do that, and you're able to go and subscribe to that and listen to that, and all of a sudden you're able to gain from that. Now, Torah Anytime is huge. But right now, this is still growing. So this, you have an option to capitalize on it. Now, I'm sure every single one of you sitting in the room here is already subscribed to this Torah Anytime Daily Dose. But if you're not, take down this number. We've done this before. I'll wait until every single person has a phone out. All right? If you don't have a phone, you already have it? You gave out the card. Oh, I didn't even read it. Okay, everybody has this card. But for the people that are listening online, they don't have the cards. Amazing cards. All right, it's brought to you by Kagan Water. Thank you, and it's amazing, by the way. Okay, we're not going to get into the Japanese, right? Japanese. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so for anybody in the online world, if you want to subscribe to this, right? It's 929 plus 1 if you don't live in America. I've never known what this plus 1 is. Have you ever wondered, like that? They like tell you, okay, what's your number? Like plus 1. Like, where are you from? Like, no, we just have, the zip code. Everybody else does the plus stuff, like plus 440. Like we don't deal with that. But anyways, plus 1. 929-355-4268. Again, that's 929-355-4268. You send them a text message in WhatsApp, your social security number. I'm sorry, that was for my Nigerian friends. You send to them the words, add me. You said, add me. Right? It's very, very simple. Then they add you to the subscription. But that's not really what I want to get at, because I'm sure every single one of you guys have it. But try to get somebody else who doesn't have it. Try to go and send it out and say, hey, listen, you gotta listen to this. It's sick. It's unbelievable. Maybe even this clip, maybe even what I'm saying right now will maybe make it one day into this, this crazy, daily dose. When you think about it, go and get one person to sign on, because all those schuyot of whatever that person listens to is all on you. So if you're a smart businessman or a businesswoman, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, do yourself a favor and get this out there. Get this out there. You have so much reward that you have coming to you. One final thing before we finish our introduction is, you think, okay, now Torah Anytime is big, so how could I get part of it? Generally, the way it works when you have big tech companies, so when they build up the company, what happens is usually the first investors, invest a certain amount of money, they get a certain percentage. Then they have a second round of investment, then you have a third round of investment, depending on on the structure of the company. The earlier on that you get, the more money that you give, the more of the percentage that you have of the company, generally speaking. Now, you think, okay, Torah Anytime is huge already. Like, okay, it's done. There's nothing that I could do. Everybody knows about Torah anytime, like practically, right? Any normal human being knows about Torah anytime. So when you think about it, what can you do? And the answer is there's something so beautiful that Torah Anytime doesn't charge for anything. They don't do anything. They do a lot. They don't do anything financially asking. All they ask, you know how they run? They run based on the little donations that every single one gives, or the big donations, depending how much you want to open up your checkbook tonight, or your credit card, or whatever it is that you're donating with. Every single one has the opportunity. Tisha B'Av is when the biggest fundraiser, right? The biggest fundraiser is on Tisha B'Av. So you have the opportunity. Now it's a huge corporation, but you have the opportunity to buy in. You have the opportunity to buy in. So do yourself a favor. Do me a favor, do everybody a favor, the entire Klal Yisrael, because we all benefit from this. Go at some point tonight. Don't wait until like Tisha B'Av. Go give something to Torah Anytime. Torah Anytime is a group of people. I know most of them personally, and these are people that love Torah. I've never done it. I don't even know if I said this ever on camera, but one of my first conversations I had with somebody, the higher ups of Torah Anytime, I told them after I finished the conversation, I said, now I know. I said, I always wondered, I always asked my wife, what was the schut of these people to go and start this? You know the schut that is? That's like a schut of the generations to come. Like, where did they get the schut? And when the first conversation that I have with somebody, I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name. Can I say his name? His name is, I'll say the first name. His name is Yosef. I had a conversation with Yosef, and I told Yosef, and I said, now I know why God gave you the ability to go and be involved in the startup of such a great, great organization. And I was like, okay, this is the reason. This is the reason, because of him. And then I met the next person. And I met Reuven, and then I met Shimon, and then I met all these people, and I'm like, it's very obvious, I'm very clear why God decided to choose these righteous people as going to be the one to spread Torah to the entire world. So, a round of applause, please, for Torah Anytime and for everything it is that they do. I just did that so I could take a drink. Okay, so now we can begin our topic. So, when we're speaking about happiness, right? Speaking about happiness, we're not that late, right? We didn't start that late. We're speaking about happiness. When we're dealing about happiness in an upside-down world, I find happiness a very, very, very important topic. Why? And I love speaking about happiness because every time I think about it, every time I speak about it, it brings me chidushim and new ideas and new thoughts, like how imperative it is in our life, happiness. When you think about it, everything, every single decision we make in our life, whether it's spiritual, whether it's what food we're going to eat, whether it's where we're going to vacation, whether it's who we're going to marry, whether anything is all dependent on one main factor, and that is this going to bring me happiness? Now, you might not be thinking about that consciously, but subconsciously, that's what's going on. Think about something like this. Generally, people do not want to go to college because they love it and it has fun. I'm talking about the religious world, right? They don't go to college because they love it and have fun. They want to learn, about sociology, and like, every Jew goes for psychology and accounting, right? That's not the reason that they go for that. Why do they go to college? People generally go to college so that they will be able to eventually get a degree, and eventually they will be able to get a job, which they will hate, but it will make them a decent amount of money, which will be able to buy them certain things, and that will ultimately produce some sort of happiness. If somebody goes and dates somebody, and they're going and they decide that they're going to go and marry this person. Why did they decide this person? Because they have the similarities. Well, no, we know the whole spiel. Everything that we know, they're talking about, they're attracted, the parents have money, whatever. I didn't say that, right? That doesn't count. Everything else, whatever it is that you decide, you say, yeah, this is why I want to get. But ultimately speaking, you know why you marry this person? Not because you love this person. You don't know this person. You love you. And you're going to get married to this person because you think that this person is going to make you love you more, or make you happier more, right? Because she's going to make me happy, he's going to make me happy, this and that, whatever it is. Because ultimately we're driven by one thing, and that's happiness. Even that you came to a shiur Torah tonight, you think about it. Baruch Hashem, we have a very nice crowd. How come somebody didn't decide to go and sit at home? Why not sit at home and relax, eat a tub of ice cream, in your robe, and enjoy another Torah class from TorahAnytime.com. You had to come out in the pouring rain and you came to our class. Like, why? Because ultimately speaking, you wanted to come here. Now, it could be because you wanted to hear Rabbi Yaakov Mizrahi, which is very possible. It's why I came here. So you have different reasons of why you came over here. I'm not looking at you. So you have different reasons of why you came over here. But ultimately speaking, when you bottle down to the end desire, it is because it's going to bring you happiness. Even if you're not going to get any happiness now, it says, you want to know why I come? Because I need to come to learn Torah. Why do I need to learn Torah? Because God said so. So God said so, so I'm going to go learn Torah. I'm going to get reward for it. And then eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to, after 120, I'm going to get Gan Eden, and then after Mashiach comes, I'm going to get Olam Haba. That's why I came. So even spirituality, we decide because it's going to bring us to happiness. So when we think about how important happiness is, we think about it, why don't we think about it more? We think about why we don't think about it more. You think, what's going on? And you look at the month that we're in now. The Gemara in Tani tells us, Mishenechnas Av mima'atim besimcha. When Av comes in, you decrease in your happiness. So there's machloket of the poskim. What does it mean? Do you have to have the happiness? Do you have to have just decreasing your happiness? Do you have to have sadness? But generally speaking, right, we go according to the poskim that says that you have to go and you decrease in your happiness. Now, what's the difference when decreasing in happiness or sadness, depression, or anything along those lines? It's very different. One is just a reduction of something positive. Another one is bringing a negative emotion, towards us. Now, when you think about it, happiness is so important that even in the month of when we're mourning, we still have to be a little bit happy. We're mema'atim, we're decreasing in it. You think about it, why? Why is that? So, when you look about what makes us happy, and you think about it for yourself, it's really crazy. We're happy in like little nuance. If you don't work on yourself, you're happy only in specific situations. Meaning, so let's say you go and you lease a new car. So you're very happy until you get that new car smell. You know what I'm talking about? Like that rubber, whatever it is that you smell. And they even sell it now in the gas station. So thank you. In case you have, thank you. If anybody needs a shidduch, we have it. I'm just going. Okay. So he's going to Eretz Yisrael to learn to be a B'tamei Chacham. Relax. Okay. So you mochel me? Okay. So you go. And when you're dealing with it, so you have a new car, right? So your new car, so you're happy until when? Well, we don't have to think too much because study's already done it for us. About 2 to 3 years, 24 to 36 months. Because that's when the car industry decides, hey, why don't you upgrade your lease? You don't need a car that drives perfectly, that you haven't had a problem since you bought it. Like, why don't you spend another $2,000 on your down payment? And why don't you go and get the new car? The rims are slightly higher. They spin a little bit more. The navigation has something else included inside of it. What difference do we have in the technology of cars that we're always constantly getting the new one? You think, what is it? But rather, what is it that we do? Like, this is going to get me to happiness. This is going to introduce me to another level of happiness. That is a very, very big thing. It's worth it for me if it's going to make me happy. And you think about it, a lot of things that we do, we get new clothing. We don't have enough clothing. I have a daughter, right? She should be healthy and live until 120. She's an amazing, amazing girl. She's come to my class. You guys know her. So, but I understand women and how they think. And she's still in the younger realm of ages. And yet, every time she gets a new dress, she's so happy. She is so happy. But why? But you have more clothes than anybody in the family, except for my wife, but more clothes than anybody else. The women have the most clothes. But why is it that every time they buy, it brings a little bit of happiness inside? Am I wrong? No, okay. So when you think about it, why is it that we have to introduce something new to make us happy? Why cannot we be happy with what we have right now? And you think about it, what's the difference with animals? Animals, let's say a human being, right? So let's say you ask a man, what's your most favorite food? And he says, whatever, this expensive steak. He says, oh, that's your expensive, okay, fine. Every single day, his Eshet Chayil goes and cooks him, grills him, whatever it is that he likes doing it, the most expensive steak, the way exactly that he likes it. And the first day he is like, oh, this is unbelievable. I got so lucky. And he's eating a steak. The second day he's eating a steak, and he's like, I can't believe my luck. 2 days in a row I got steak. The third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. Eventually, by the 8th day, he's like, what, does this woman not know how to cook anything else? What's going on with all these steaks? I'm sick of the steaks. By 2 weeks, what happened that all of a sudden, the one thing that you love, if you get it every single day, you can't have it anymore? You think about it, you have a lion. Every time the lion eats a deer, it's happy. It's relaxing. It's this. You don't hear lions complaining. Maybe because we don't understand the lion's language, and maybe that's a good thing. But we don't hear lions go. You never hear a lioness, whatever is, like my husband doesn't spend. He just sits there all day, wagging his tail. Doesn't even spend any time with me. You never hear that. She's happy, he's happy, they eat the same food every single day, and they're happy. Why is it that human beings are the only species on earth that are not satisfied with what they have? They always want more. Why is it? Have you ever thought about it? You have a chimpanzee, you give him the same food that whatever chimpanzee eats, he's going to be happy. He's not going to be like, can you spice things up a little bit? Can you throw a little bit of dash of salt and maybe make something else with this banana that I've been eating for so many years? Like, just do something already. But they don't. Why not? Because animals are not wired that way. Human beings are wired that way. And the question is, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu create us that we always desire more? And the answer is because we need to go and strive for something more. We're constantly in the stages in our life that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to say, you're not there yet. There's something else that you need. So we try it. We say, okay, maybe we'll get a new car. Maybe if we get a new phone. Maybe if we upgrade the iOS. Then we'll be happy. And maybe we'll do this and maybe we'll do that. And every time we do that, we're happy for a little bit, but it doesn't really stick. So why did God make us this way? And the answer is because ultimately there's one thing that you need to search for that's going to bring you happiness. And that is the connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the connection to God. So God created only human beings, and the fact to say that you're only going to go and search, and you keep on searching. Why? Because you're searching for something. But it's not the most things that we find. What we're really searching for in happiness is the connection to God. And that is really what we're searching for. So we're looking at these days, and we ask, why do we mourn on these days? We're mourning for the destruction of the temple. Why? Why do we mourn in it? Why can't we go, like any other Jewish holiday, make a meal, zechar l'chuban. Make a meal, we always make meals of stuff, right? The Greeks, right? They tried to beat us, they didn't, let's eat. And you go through everything, right? The matzah, we go Purim, everything, right? We're eating or drinking on some holiday. Why isn't it? Also the negative. Okay, they did that. Let's also, why do we have to mourn? Why do we have to mourn? I'm not saying only in the fasting, but during the 3 weeks, it's a period of mourning. Ben HaMetzarim, it's a period of mourning. Why? So, the answer is that in life, we generally feel comfortable. We feel good at where we are. We're okay. Yeah, we might not have the biggest panasah that we want, but that's because we need to work more. We might not be where we are spiritually, but that's because we need to daven and pray more, and maybe we need to learn a little bit more. We have our answers to what we need. But has any single one of you ever thought about it, like, what would my life be missing had I had a temple, a Bet HaMikdash? Like, imagine what our life would be missing when we have it. And we don't really, it's hard to relate. Maybe you guys do. For me, it's very hard. It's hard to relate for something that you've never seen before unless you learn about it. So when you think about it, you'd be like, what is going on over here? Why are we mourning? And the answer is, why did the Chachamim, why did the sages tell us that we have to mourn during these days? To realize that we're living our life missing something. Because if we would not be mourning for this, we would never realize that there's something missing in our lives. There's something that's gone, that's something that's missing, and that is the Bet HaMikdash, the place where we have the ultimate connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is where we're missing. And if we didn't have this mourning period, then what we would know? We wouldn't know anything. We're a bunch of ignorant people. I'm talking to myself. And maybe a few of you, I don't know. So we're like, what are we dealing with? What are we dealing with is we're missing something spiritual in our lives. And comes these days, it reminds us. It reminds us that something is missing. Now, I heard a fantastic line that you have some people that they live as if they never die. You know those people, they're partying, they're having a great time. They're just living life to its fullest in the physical sense. However, you also have some people that die as if they have never lived. They have gone, and they're no longer in this world. And you ask them, what did you accomplish in this world? What did they accomplish? And think about it, like, really nothing. You know, like, you think about some people go through the entire world, the entire existence on planet Earth, from the day that they were born until the day that they died. They lived as if they were never going to die. And when they died as if they have never lived. They've never accomplished anything. We're coming to the concept of realizing that there's a purpose of why we are here in this world. There's a reason and a purpose of why we're here. The more that you understand the purpose, the more that you will be able to accomplish. Now, when you go and you think about a multi-billionaire on his deathbed, you've never heard, at least I've never heard, any very, very wealthy person on his deathbed say, you know what, I wish I spent more time in the office. I wish I would have went and made a few more deals. Never. Even the poor people, even the people that don't have any money, you never hear them be like, oh, I wish I worked harder. What do people think about when they're on their deathbed? They think about, I wish I spent some more time with my family. I wish I spent more time achieving the purpose of why I'm here in this world. That's what we're thinking about it. And we all know that. We all know what we're going to think about when we'll be on the deathbed, ad 120. We know what we're thinking about that. So the question is, why can't we do a simple calculation? I know what I'm going to think about then. Let me think about it now. Let me change something. You have people, you have people that go and they live their life as if there's nothing. Like literally, I could just stop it right there. They live their life as if nothing. And then you have people that live their life as there's everything. There's everything. And they go and they take every single moment and they live it to the fullest. They live it to the fullest. When you go and you think about the purpose, a purpose of what you're here in this world for, you realize that you can be able to live your life to the fullest. You know what happiness that brings? When you realize that you're fulfilling your purpose into this world? Imagine you went and you tried to close a deal that you would have made $50 million after taxes, right? So about $7 billion before tax, right? So you're going to make so much money, and you're going, and everything is going to place until finally, it all went sour the last minute, and everything, you lost everything. And you go and you say, God, why? Why? What did I do today? I'm such a good person. Right? We all know those people. We call them ourselves. Right? We're such good people. Why did you cause such bad things happen? And imagine you have the greatest Kabbalist, the biggest tzaddik in the world come over to you and says, you know what? The purpose of what you came to this world is now being able to be achieved because of what you went through. Meaning that everything that you went through was all for this moment right here. How are you going to handle it? Are you going to be able to handle that a little bit better? 100%. 1,000%, you'll be able to handle it if you realize that this is orchestrated by God. And God did it for a certain reason. And He said, this is the reason of why you're here in this world. All of a sudden, okay, it's not so bad. It's not why God, but all of a sudden it's thank you, God. I appreciate it. None of my family was hurt. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's good. Baruch Hashem, all of a sudden you start thinking it. So when you live your life for a purpose, all of a sudden your life has a different meaning. It brings you to such a level of happiness. Such a level of happiness to realize this is what I'm here for. I'm not here for X, Y, and Z or whatever we're chasing. I'm here for a certain reason. And that is to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu amongst some other reasons that we're here for, to do the tikkunim, whatever it is that we need to do. But when you live your life that way, what a happiness, what a simcha it brings it. So maybe we could say a little bit of a chidush today. And say, you know why it says, why the Mefarshim tell us that Mishenichnas Av Mima'atim B'Simcha, why we decrease in our happiness? Because all of a sudden comes Tisha B'Av, comes this Ben HaMitzrayim, comes the 3 weeks, and it says, hey, listen, there's a reason why you're here for. And that reason will be ultimately achieved when we had the Bet HaMikdash, but we don't have the Bet HaMikdash. So we mourn for the Bet HaMikdash. So what's happening during these times? We're realizing that there is a purpose of why we are here in this world. So when you realize your purpose, all of a sudden it's going to bring you simcha. So how can you not be b'simcha? So that's why the does. So the Mefarshim say, if this is my own chidush, so it could be wrong. The Mefarshim could say, you know what? No. It says mematim b'simcha. Now that all of a sudden you realize the purpose of why you're here, mematim b'simcha. This is the time when we're mourning. When we're mourning, you can obviously be b'simcha, because you have to be b'simcha. But still, there's something that you have to realize that we're missing something, and we're missing something. We'll be able to deal with life a whole lot better. I want to finish off with Gemara and Psachim, and the Gemara says an interesting story. A story. Is anybody here familiar with near-death experiences? Right? Near-death. Well, you know, right? So, right. So. Near-death experiences. And it's very interesting that the Gemara also speaks about a near-death experience. That Rabbi Yossi went and he passed away. He passed away and he came back. He came back into this world, the Gemara says. The Gemara says, crazy story, crazy story. And the Gemara goes and says, Rabbi Yossi's, he was telling his father what he saw in the next world. He says, what did you see in the next world? So he says, I saw an upside-down world. I saw a world that is upside down. I saw the people that are honored and achieve greatness in this world. They were very low in the next world. They were on the bottom of the next world. But the people that were low in this world, they were high in the next world. They achieved greatness in the next world. So Rabbi Yossi's father says, no. You saw a clear world. So we are living in an upside-down world. We're living in a world that how do we understand success? Somebody who has made a lot of money, somebody that maybe had made a good, good shidduchim, somebody that looks what appears to be good, we appear that they had a successful life. But that's not the way the Torah looks at it. The Torah looks at it, it says that there's everything that we do, we could either decide for ourselves we'll achieve success or achieve failure. It doesn't depend on our final actions, it doesn't depend on our actions, it doesn't depend on our final outcomes. It depends on our effort. And the Gemara in Brachot says that b'makom sheba'alei tshuva omdim, tzadikim gomurim einam omdim. You have the Baalei Tshuva, the people that, stuck in the other side. And then they came to the right side. They came to the righteous side and they do tshuva. The place that they have in the next world is a place that even the tzaddikim from when they were born, they do not have that place. They are such a high level. The answer is, the question is why? Why is it like that? Why is it, and if you think about it, you have two people that are keeping Shabbat. One person loves it. It's amazing. Enjoy it. They get tremendous reward for it. Another person, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. Who gets more reward for that Shabbat? The person, the fum tzara agra. Chachamim tell us, the harder, the more difficult it is, the more reward that you get. So when you look at something, and when you have, it's an upside down world, you look at it, be like two people doing the same mitzvah. Not necessarily. You have people that are sitting in this room, and you're tired. It's been raining, and you're wet, and you're coming, and there's a class, and it's been slightly delayed by like a minute or two, and you're maybe not upset a little bit. And you think about, okay, like what's going on? When is the speaker going to stop speaking so we can hear the final, the main attraction? But you think about it, it says when it's difficult for you, and you push for it, the reward that you get. The reward that you will have, it's an upside down world. It's a world that we're dealing with that we don't understand. And you know how to achieve happiness in an upside down world? When you realize your purpose of you being here. So, finish off, my bracha for you, every single one of us over here is to utilize these days to realize what we're mourning for. What is the purpose of the issue of what we're dealing with? And by doing that, we realize that we're in this world for a certain reason, for a certain purpose, for a certain tafkid. And with that will bring us such joy, such simcha, such happiness, that we won't be able to even we won't be able to entertain the physicality. We're like, are you kidding me? The reason why I'm here is for this, and this, to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you achieve that, you achieve the ultimate happiness. In this world, you look at the people that are sitting and learning Torah, and you look at the people that build huge businesses. Unfortunately, some of us may think, they are successful. Unfortunately, they couldn't find any other job, so they're going and they're learning Torah. It's just the opposite. It's an upside down world. He says, those people are the ones that are successful. And those people, they could, depending what they do with their money. If they donate it to Torah anytime, then they have an option, or to any other organization. But B'ezrat Hashem, may each and every single one of us utilize our reason of why we're here into this world, utilize our purpose of why we're here in this world, and B'ezrat Hashem will bring us to an ultimate simcha and a geula bekrova, and we have Mashiach b'mehera b'yameinu.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.